So I've just taken the bike apart again. Taken over, it's not too bad, runs okay. It is very hard to start, however, even with full choke. It takes a good long time to start up. So I think I'm going to have to take the carbs off and have a look at them, see if there's anything wrong with them. It's not something I did purely just, when you've done all this work, you want to make sure that the engine actually runs, and it does run, it just doesn't run very well. So on the road it's very lumpy, like it's very reluctant to rev, and when you do get it revving, it's not what it should be. It should be, quite powerful, this bike. So I'm going to take the carbs off, see what I can find. I don't expect them to be that dirty, but on these sort of carbs, they are quite large, and any sort of dirt or blockage, it will affect the bike's running. So that's the carbs off. There's two coolant lines that you've got to disconnect. One goes from the cylinder head to the front carb and vice versa, and then one links the two, so it goes in the circuit. Anyway, so you've got the carbs. There's 3 screws holding on the float ball, so I'm just going to remove that now. Okay, so the screws are out, and some of them weren't especially tight, so I think someone's been in here before. So we've got a little bit of stale fuel residue. Let's try the other one. Oh, yeah, slightly worse, but I think you can see the new fuel may have just washed some of that old fuel away. Let's see if we can get down. So your main jet on this one's got damage. Pilot screw. It's hard to see on the camera sometimes. That's got damage. Same on the other carb. It looks dirty actually from just using the torch. Pilot screw's damaged. It's got something on it, I think. You can see a lot better with the camera. So I'll pull the float ball and just have a look at the rest of it. I mean, the floats. So I've pulled the floats out. Now, don't read too much into this, but if I just show you, you see this here? That's petrol, and a drop of coolant just fell into the petrol. So that's what it should look like when petrol and water are together. So if this bike had some of that in, yeah, that would be obviously it would be concerning. But this is just dropped in because there's a bit of coolant on this edge here from the pipes, so I'm not worried about that. See, the other side hasn't got any coolant in it, but there's still some, oh god, what is that? There's like metal or something, just dirt really, floating. So that's it's not a good start. Anyway, I'll get these jets out and see what they look like. So I've got main jet and emulsion tube out, and the pilot jet goes in that one. Mixture screw, and the same for the other carb. I've tried my best not to clean them before showing you this. So let me see. So this is the front cylinder, and this is the rear cylinder. Main jet, pilot jet, mixture screw. And you'll note that the main jet on the rear is slightly bigger so I think they do that for a bit more cooling. So this is the emulsion tube. It's got lots of dirt inside it. The main jet, quite big on these obviously. It's got some dirt on the upper part. That's all. It looks dirty. The pilot jet, dirty, but it is clear, but it still could do with a good clean. And same for the other carb, dirt up in there. Yeah, the mixture screw should be okay, but pilot jet's okay, main jet again, just dirty. Yeah, so all old fuel is just circulating around. Yeah, so the other part of the puzzle, the needles and the diaphragm. Just had a quick glance at these. They don't appear to have any tears or anything in them. The needles are clean, there's no staining on them. The spring for the slide, I didn't realise how long they were, massive. Don't know if these needles are adjustable. Not sure. Anyway, so that should end this video. I think what I'm going to do is give these a good clean, put them in a pot basically and leave them with some carb cleaner in for a couple of hours, and then finally I'll blow through them with some compressed air. The carb bodies, what I like to do is just blow compressed air through all these holes to make sure there's no more debris in there, and you also want to clean out the incoming fuel pipe passageway because that can get clogged up too. Can you see down there? That's full of rubbish as well, and you can't remove these. So that's the jets cleaned up now. Look a lot nicer compared to that old chalk one. I've still got some stain and need to rub off. And the mixture screws, I'm going to put on some new rubbers for them, and get it all back together. So when I took these carbs off, I made a note of all the jets, and looking at the specification, the mixture screw should be 1 5/8 turns out, so that's just over 1.5. So these were set a little bit on the rich side. So I'm going to try it at the standard settings because it's got a standard exhaust, hasn't got a K&N air filter or anything like that. So standard mixture settings, see what it runs like, and then if it needs more, I can always adjust it more. So if you want to put these diaphragms back in, and there's that massive spring, isn't there? So if you just put them together like this, so the spring's fully compressed, and then just slide them in, holding it from either side, obviously, it seems to work, because that is a pain in the ass to put them on.